Yo, what up, guys? All right, what's up, guys? So I'm making a new series. This is called Mind of Mike, and I've been wanting to do this for a while. I've noticed it's kind of hard to talk to people at times through social media. I try to use my Twitter a lot to express how I feel, um, talk about new things that are coming up or like certain things I'm going through. I try to use Twitter as an outlet. I use my stream a lot. But I noticed, like, specifically on Twitter, at times it's hard to really get across what I want to say. Like, there are things I want to talk about or have discussions about, and people think I'm just, like, complaining for no reason. I'm complaining or talking about it to put people down. I don't appreciate other people's work. Shit like that. And I'm just kind of making this because, like, it's a lot easier to kind of talk about it through video. I get a lot more words on Twitter. I'm not limited by characters. And I think I'll be able to at least express really what I want to say more so. So I'm going to start using videos more so as an outlet. Hopefully, this will spark some discussion. Like, that's my main goal. I just wanted to put that out there. Like, whenever I talk about things or like yeah, well, whenever I really just like whenever I talk about things, it's like to engage discussion. Like, that's the majority of the time. Like, really, if I'm complaining about something, if it's not like in a satirical manner, if I'm just like complaining about something or talking about something, it's to have a discussion about it. Really is my main point. Like, I'm not just talking about something. I'm not just critiquing something just to be a fucking asshole. I don't get off on being an asshole. I don't get off on just like putting other people down and building myself up or something. Like, that's never my intention. In fact, like, building myself up and putting other people down is something I don't really care about at all. Like, that doesn't get me off. That doesn't make me feel good about myself. Um, I have no reason to do that, and I just want to kind of like explain myself better so people don't think that, because I couldn't care less about breaking people down and making people feel bad about the stuff they do. At least it's not my intention, right? That's never my intention. Although I can understand at times, like, people, I can understand myself at times too. Like, I can not come off as like the easiest person to talk to, or like maybe I don't express myself in certain ways. So again, that's why I'm gonna pick videos as more so a different type of outlet. Like, I want to have my videos be there for me to just have discussion, hear you guys, hear you all talking in comments, talk about what's going on, and I don't know. Like, the main reason I want to have discussions with people and the main reason I ask people for opinions or use Twitter in that way is because I want to know. Like, I want to know these things. Like, I ask things because I want to have discussion about it. It's never my intention to just set it up. It's never my intention to, like, I don't think that deeply about social media. Like, I don't think about my social media like, oh, I'm gonna think about this, and I'm gonna plant the seed, and I'm gonna go to somebody else, and like I'm gonna start building this conversation, and then in 3 months this will happen, and like this some Death Note shit. Like, I don't care about that. I bring things up that are happening that I'm going through or I'm experiencing to have discussion about it. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of make a video just like to explain that. I don't care about like I don't care about just complaining to complain or complaining to talk shit. Like, that's not my intention ever. Like, ever. I can't think of many times like where I will just go out of my way to talk shit to somebody for no reason. Um, but I think a big part of that is also like I'm not putting everyone else at fault. I think a big part of that is like my words on social media or like my words on Twitter sometimes, because I have to be selective. I have to be so selective with the words I want to pick on social media. I'm just gonna say Twitter. I have to be really selective with the words I have to pick on Twitter because Twitter, you get so many characters, you can only say so much. I have to be really really selective about what I say, like the words I pick. So it's like I find difficulty with that at times. Um, and I know like I can do a better job of expressing myself, but from now on, I think like I'm just gonna stick to videos, just to talk about things, just to talk about topics, new shit that's going down, really whatever I want to express myself on. I think videos is for sure the way I want to do this in the future. Um, so we'll start out with our first topic, I guess. This is the this is the first one. I'm not wearing this shirt on purpose, by the way. I was literally like, honestly, I was wearing this shirt before I wanted to make a video, before I tweeted today. Like, when I woke up, this is the first shirt I saw on my dresser, and I was like, okay, I'll just put this on. Has nothing to do with the topic of today's video, but today's video is going to be on Hitbox and attending Hitbox tournaments. So, without further ado, no, but really, that'll be today's topic. So, like, I was having a discussion. I was like thinking about this recently, and there's an event coming up. It's called the Bigger Bulk. It's hosted in SoCal, and it's going to be like a bigger SoCal regional. Has like $1,000 pot bonus. I just saw it. I didn't even know it had guaranteed players. It has none. It has Hungrybox guaranteed to attend the tournament, which is fucking dope. That's super super sick. Having obviously top level talent's really really good. It gets other top players going. It gets the fans hype because the fans want to go see these people, meet these people, watch the matches. Obviously a good thing. The pop bonus is there, so more top players will go. Like obviously it's a great thing. But today I found out that today I found out that the Bigger Bulk, I think it's hosted in April, by the way, and I'll have a link to the event in the description in case you guys want to go, in case you want to register. But I found out that the event is going to be streamed on Hitbox versus Twitch. And this is something I've thought about in the past already. I've attended a couple of events that only streamed on Hitbox. While the events themselves were generally pretty decent, like I had fun at the events, the main thing that was lackluster about the events were that they were streamed at Hitbox. And as an attendee, obviously being streamed on Hitbox doesn't really affect you. Like it doesn't affect me that it's streamed on Hitbox. It doesn't do anything negative in terms of me as an attendee. But me as somebody who does Smash full time, it has a negative effect. And that was my main point with what I was trying to bring to a discussion today. I wanted to talk about that. Just to kind of cut back real fast, like when I talk about things, like I'm going on Twitter and I'm talking about things, or bringing things up, it's not because like it's not because I want to villainize anybody. It's not because I think someone's a fucking asshole and I'm gonna fucking destroy them. I'm trying to do anything like that. That's never, honestly, ever never my intention. My intention is to like talk about things. Like today, I went on Twitter and had to do with an event it's had to do with the Bigger Bulk that's gonna have Hitbox as a stream instead of Twitch, and I asked people if it was BM that I don't want to attend this event because it's on Hitbox. I'm not trying to shit on your event. Kira got in. Kira's one of the TOs. You got a little defensive about it. I'm not trying to shit on your event. I don't care about that. Like hosting a regional event in SoCal, my region, is good. That's nothing but positive. That's good. I was legitimately trying to have a discussion. And he got a bit defensive, which like I understand. Like I think again, like the TOs are the unsung hero of the community. They don't really hear the praise that other people in the community get, which I get. Like I understand that that's frustrating. And to have somebody come out and say they're not going to support your event because it's streamed on a certain platform, like I can understand how somebody feels. So like I'm not mad about that at all. The thing that frustrated me though is like I asked these things because I want to have a discussion and not because I just want to be an asshole. Like that's the most important to me. Is having a discussion. So anyway, this event it's gonna happen. It's gonna be hosted on Hitbox. So like as a attendee, that doesn't affect anything, right? Like as an attendee, it being hosted on Hitbox doesn't matter. It doesn't do anything it doesn't do anything positive or negative. It doesn't matter if it's streamed on Twitch or not. It's not really going to be that big of a deal if it's hosted on Hitbox or Twitch as an attendee. But as a competitor, and like, so my point of view is very different, right? Like what I talk about, like these are things that I experience. It's not something that necessarily everybody's going to experience. My point of view. I know someone in comments, I hate you, whoever you are. Someone's going to say I'm TPP, I'm top player privilege. Which maybe it's going to come off that way, but like it's realistic what I'm going to talk about. So like the main difference between Twitch and Hitbox, like Hitbox is a great platform in terms of like its actual use from what I've heard. I've used it a couple times in terms of spectating. I've seen, streams on Hitbox and it's generally been pretty good. There have been some problems with like viewing VODs, like the archives of broadcasts, but that's not that big of a deal since everything ends up on YouTube anyway. But the main issue with using Hitbox is that it generally will have a fraction of the viewership than it will on Twitch. It's going to be a much smaller percentage. It's going to be much less people watching on Hitbox than Twitch because Twitch already has a really big Smash and Melee community built up. For those that don't know what Hitbox is, just to go into a quick explanation of it, it's basically a competitor of Twitch. That's just a lot smaller. Like even with their biggest broadcasters, like they're way smaller than anybody on Twitch, pretty much. And the main thing is just like Hitbox doesn't have the viewers going to Hitbox. Like when you think of Melee, when you want to watch Melee as a viewer, if you're not on YouTube watching archives, what you're on Twitch, and that's the first thing you think of. You're like, okay, I want to watch Melee. Let me go to the Melee directory on Twitch. I want to watch Mango. I'm going to Twitch. I want to watch Lucky, Hugs, whoever it might be. You're going to Twitch. shouts at Twitch. No, you're going to Twitch though. Really, you're gonna be going to Twitch to watch Melee, to watch Smash, whatever it might be. If you want to watch PM, now this is the reason Hitbox is a part of the Smash community to begin with, is that it's not allowed on Twitch for whatever reason. I'm not going to get into the debate. I don't know the specifics, whatever it might be, but it's not allowed to be streamed on Twitch. So people have to go to Hitbox to stream that. Hitbox welcomes them. From what I understand, like some events, I'm not sure about the bigger Balk. Balcony did say on Facebook that they're under contract with Hitbox to stream all Balcony events under Hitbox, so they can't use Twitch. But I'm not sure of specifics. Like I don't know if they get money. From what I've heard, though, other events that have it on Hitbox get paid to run their events on Hitbox. Or they have a contract to where they get a certain amount of money per month, whatever their deal might be. I know of one event specifically that did have that. They had a contract with Hitbox. They were getting paid monthly by Hitbox. So that's fine too, by the way. Like that's a-okay. It's okay for a company to do that if they want to offer money for people to stream on the platform. Like I'm cool with that. What I'm not cool with, or what I don't like though, the main part is that the viewership is a lot lower, and that's the thing I care about, right? So again, like as a normal spectator or as a normal attendee of the event, you're not really going to care about that. It's not going to affect you, but it will affect other people differently. As somebody who does Smash full time, like there's a couple things that matter. Obviously, number one in my heart and number one always will be competition. So if the event has a good level, or a good number of top level players attending, it's a very big incentive for me to attend. That's a really, really big thing. Like having good competition at an event is super important, because at the end of the day, like when I look back, I want to know that I tried my best and like I was able to perform against good players. I think that's the way you improve, is by playing players of your caliber, or people that are better than you. So that's really, really important to me, is having good players. It's having good competition, right? Like obviously you want to have good competition at events. Like it's nothing but a good thing. So number two is exposure. Number one, competition, who I play against, obviously important, but number two is exposure. When I go to this event, let's say I go to this event, let's say I do really well, let's say I get top 5 at the event, top 3, or let's say I go to the event and I attend and I go commentate. I can also commentate. I've done this for a while. These things are important to me, because what happens as a full-time Smasher is more people get exposed to what I do. So they get to see my play. They like the way I play, maybe. They like the way I commentate. Whatever it might be, right? I get to engage myself onto a new audience. And to me, that's very, very important, since I do Smash full-time in particular. Like the competition aspect is important because I want to be the best player I can, but the way I make my livelihood is by doing everything, right? I make content, I make videos, I live stream. I'm a personality, like I'm a competitor and I'm a personality, so I have different avenues of how I make my livelihood. So that's important to me. What's important to me is getting exposure. That's very important. And if I'm at a tournament and it's on Twitch and it's like a bigger event like this one will, like I'd say, let's just, I'm going to throw out a random number out there. Let's say on Twitch it'll get 20,000. On Hitbox it'll probably get 2,000 viewers. You compare, right? Maybe a little more. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit. I don't know the specific numbers. But usually when I'll see a bigger event on Hitbox, it'll be a super small percentage of what it probably would be on Twitch. It's sad, but like that's the truth. It's going to have way less viewers than on Twitch. And that's a reason I might not attend. Like, why would I attend that event? Yes, the competition's good, but why don't I just find a different regional in a different state and go to that? Maybe, this event does have a pop bonus, so maybe, like, if I was going to make money, maybe I'll make less money, but the most important thing is for my overall self, for my overall brand, for my overall livelihood, is going to be exposure to new audiences, exposure to audiences in general. So that's kind of my main point. Like that's the biggest point as to why I don't like Hitbox in that aspect. The viewership is just way, 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 way lower. So like I don't benefit as much by going to that event than going to a different event, maybe with slightly less competition, maybe equal competition, but a different event that's run on Twitch. That's probably gonna get more viewership, right? It's pretty much straightforward in that way. Obviously, in this way, like I think Hitbox is helping out the event. So I think it's a good thing. Like I think having a region, SoCal needs regional events. Like SoCal objectively does. Like we don't have a lot of regional events. We don't have bigger events. SSS is starting to pick back up now, so that's really, really good. But SoCal still lacks like the national or regional experience. So I think having an event like this is good. My whole point again was just like to have a discussion about it. Like I want to know why. Why can't we have melee? Like I understand why we can't have PM on Hitbox. That makes sense. Like yeah, we can't do that because PM isn't allowed on Twitch. Or sorry, I know why we can't have PM on Twitch because it's not allowed on Twitch. But melee only benefits from being on Twitch. Like, there's no main benefit to having melee on Hitbox outside of now. I understand there's a contract involved. Like, they actually just can't legally stream it. So now I understand that. But I don't know. That was just my main point. It's just like viewership is worse. It's like objectively worse on Hitbox. Do I make a point, guys? Is that reasonable? Is that me being a fucking asshole? Like the conversation devolved and I kind of got like annoyed for a second. But it's not that big of a deal. Like I think at this point, like I just don't want to attend Hitbox events. Again, like outside of the competition, like competition's a really, really big part of what I do, and I enjoy it, and that's the reason I play Smash to begin with is for competition. But viewership also matters. Like I can't argue that. I was initially like looking for responses. I initially like wanted to hear people's opinion, but I think at this point, like I've kind of made my decision. Like I'm not going to attend Hitbox events. I don't want to. They're going to be way smaller. It's not necessarily worth it. I would rather just work on content. I'd probably just rather stream. Or, like, I don't know. It's not like Melee's in a drought of tournaments. Like, I don't need to go to a Hitbox event. It's not like this Hitbox event's the number one big tournament of the year, and I need to attend it because it's our one tournament. Like, I don't need to do that. Like, I can pick from 5 other tournaments the same day in different regions. So, like, that's kind of been my thing. Like, I think at this point, like, I have made my decision. Initially, I was looking for, like, opinions on it. One thing about myself is, like, I don't care about being right. Like, the most important thing to me, like, I guess, maybe we should talk about that. Like, I don't really care about being right in that aspect. Like, it doesn't, I don't know. Like I don't have the ego in that way. Like it doesn't like fucking get me off just because like I'm right. Hey, dude, like I'm fucking right in this way and you're wrong. Like I don't think in that way, and I don't know where that. I don't know if people actually think of me that way or they just. I feel like responses at times, people think of me in that light, where that's not my intention at all. Like half of I think what it is also like my way of humor. Like half of what I talk about is in jest, and then in jest, lol. Half of what I talk about though, it's like jokes, and then the other half is like I want to have a serious discussion about things at times. But the number one thing is like when I'm having a discussion or like I want to have a discussion, I want to talk about things. It's the main point, the main reason I bring these things up or anything up to begin with is because I want to make sure I am not in the wrong. And if I am in the wrong, like tell me. You have to be mean about it. We don't have to like have some like sort of shitty discussion. Like so conversations don't need to devolve just because someone's in the wrong or because you stepped on someone's toe. Like conversations never need to devolve in that way. Like the reason I tweeted initially and the reason like I have conversations about these kinds of things is always like the purpose of that is to like end up progressing things. Like I want unless it's in jest. Like sometimes I will make jokes, and there have been times where I made jokes, and maybe they're taken the wrong way, and I understand that too. I think things can be misinterpreted too, and that's something I can work on too for sure. But like the main point, like when I ask things, and like when I ask my Twitter or ask my followers or my stream, when I ask things, it's like it's never to like I don't care about being right. Like that's the main thing. Like I'll have conversations with people. And the reason I have conversations and the reason I communicate with people is mainly to try to like understand how they feel and understand if like my way of thinking is correct or incorrect. And I put that in quotes because like it's true. Like I think anyone can think any certain way. I think people have different ways of thinking, but like I don't know. Whatever. I don't give my main point. Why can't I talk? My main point is I don't give a fuck about being right. Like that doesn't do anything for me. What I care more so about is about being. Did I just get a follower on Twitch while we're recording a video? My main point is I don't give a fuck about being right. Like what's more important to me is growing as a person and trying to express myself and trying to get along with everybody or trying to like I don't know. Like growing myself. I think that's just the main point I'm trying to say. Like the most important thing to me is really just growing myself. I'm more so like when I have discussions or I'm talking about things like I care more so about growing myself or helping the community or having us all grow together versus just being like yeah, fuck this shit. Like, fuck this tournament. Like, I've never thought that. I don't care about that. It's not my intention. I don't have a reason to think that. It's my community. Like, I have no reason to think, like, yeah, fuck this tournament and fuck Hitbox. Give me attention. Give me money. Fuck your event. Like, I don't. It's fucking stupid. Like, dog, that's dumb. I don't care about that shit at all. That does nothing for me, right? But more so, like, if I bring up, like, yo, why are we streaming on Hitbox? I might not attend this event because it's on Hitbox. It's not putting anyone down. It's having a fucking discussion. I'm asking you, why are we on this platform? They get a fraction of the viewership. It's not good for the community. It does, like, the event's good for the community, but the stream is not, right? The exposure, the majority of people that are watching the event. So ultimately, like, that aspect of it is not good. So I'm trying to have a discussion about it. I'm not trying to shit on anybody. I'm just trying to talk about it. Somebody brought up, like, oh, like, or Kira brought it up. He said, like, you complain about events all the time or blah, blah, blah. The reason I complain about events is because I'm fucking tired of shit events. Like, I go to fucking tournaments that are ass. I am there. I'm not complaining. This isn't me, like, oh, let me put my top player pants on and complain about shit and let me express my privilege. Like, I'm not fucking complaining just to complain, dude. Like, I'm complaining because events are fucking run like shit. If your events run like shit, like, I'm not gonna just sit there and pretend that's cool. Like, if events are ass, I'm gonna say they're ass. Like, it's more productive than not saying anything. It's not the most productive because I could be offering solutions, and that I should try to do that as well. But me keeping my mouth shut and pretending events are okay and, like, yeah, your event, like, started it started 3 hours late and ended 4 hours later than it should have too. Like, that's not doing shit. I don't care. Like, that's dumb. That's not doing anything. That's worse than me not saying anything. And I understand too where the TOs are coming from, because like I was saying, the TOs are kind of like the unsung heroes of the community, right? So I understand that aspect too. Like, I'm not trying to take away from that. Like, I obviously understand that, but I just think, like, things can be easily run more efficiently, or I think events can definitely improve with just a few little adjustments. And I don't know. I'm just not gonna shut up. I think I think, like, being quiet is a lot worse. Than saying something. Like, I think that's dumb. Like, I know one example. This was last year. I forgot what fucking tournament it was. It was like upstate New York. Literally the event, I remember because I was like an hour and a half away. I want to say it started, like, doubles signups. I want to say doubles started at 10. Maybe it started at 11. And this event, like, lasted. I really, really wish I was exaggerating. This event lasted until like 1 a.m. I want to say it was 2 a.m., but I want to say this event was until like 1 a.m. Started at like 11 a.m. until 1 a.m. Right, that's like 14 hours. That's a long fucking day. And I went to this tournament. You would think, right? Like, it lasts 14 hours. Oh, they didn't have a lot of, like, setups. They probably just didn't have, like, enough melee setups. This event had like 30. I want to say it had 25 to 30 setups. Let's say I had 20 even, right? Let's say I had 20 setups. You might be thinking, like, oh, yeah, the tournament probably, like, it probably had 500 people, right? It had, like, 120 for Melee. Melee didn't have more than, like, 120, 130. Mid-sized event. But it's running fucking late. Why the fuck is your event 14 hours? And it's frustrating for me. And I think that event was streamed on Hitbox. I'm just saying. I'm not saying there's a correlation. I'm just saying I think it was streamed on Hitbox now that I think about it. And I just remembered that. I'm not saying there's anything. I'm just saying. No, but really, like, it lasted 14 hours, and, like, me in my position, it's like, cool, like, I'm expected to play my fucking best for 14 hours straight. Think about that. Like, because it sounds like if someone just says like that a bad time, like, fine, man. It sounds like I can understand how what I'm saying is coming off as bitching, because I made a post about it and I was like, dude, this is the worst. Literally, and this was honestly, this is worse than Apex. This was the worst tournament I've ever been to. I want to say it was like longer than 14 hours. I'm pretty sure it was, but that's fine. And it was just like the number of entrants, how inefficient it was run. There was a bunch of shit. They tried to put everything on stream. Like I swear the entire fucking bracket was on stream. But think of it from a player's point of view. Where, like, see, and that's where I think there's miscommunications at times. Like, people aren't trying to understand somebody's point of view, and that's where I think Twitter sucks at times. They don't understand your point of view. People don't understand or try to think about, like, well, what's it like for their experience. At that event, like, think about it from my point of view, where, like, because your point of view, or like a casual, or somebody that's watching, or somebody that's just, random attendee, like, oh, cool, it was a 14-hour tournament, I got to play a lot of friendlies, right? That's what you're thinking maybe as your first tournament. Cool, like, it was an all-day event, 14 hours, yep. I paid $20 and had 14 hours of fun, and I got to play, like, a lot of friendlies with a lot of people, ha 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 ha. Like, that's probably what some people experienced, but my experience was I go to this event, I wake up like at 8 a.m. because we thought it was gonna start on time. Blah 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 blah. The event lags and lags and lags and it's lagging the entire fucking day. And after 16 hours, I'm expected to play my fucking best. I'm expected to play peak melee for 16 fucking hours. Right? And then that's where, yeah, that is the worst tournament I've ever been to. I've never been under shit conditions like that. But like that's my experience with it, right? Like that's what I had to experience in that way. Shit conditions, shit run tournament, etc., etc. But then I make a post about it, and then, oh, you're fucking complaining. You're a fucking ungrateful piece of shit. So stupid. So stupid. To give you an example of like how incompetent the TOs were, right? Like, yeah, maybe thank you for hosting the event. Thank you. Like, that's cool. You guys try to put on a show. That's fucking cool. Thank you. But like to show you how incompetent the tournament was, like after I got paid for the event, the dude runs out because we're gonna do in person. I wasn't told we're getting paid in person. He runs out of the event. And he's like, "Yo, here's your money. Here's your money for I don't know what a place I got. I got like second or third. Here's your money for third place." And I say, "Okay, how much is it?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know, bro." Like I literally, I wish I could make this up. Like I wish I could make it up. Here's your money for third place. Oh, cool. Thank you so much. How much is it? I don't know. What the fuck? You're the TO. That's bullshit. That's some bullshit right there, dude. You can't just hand some. Anyway, this tournament was fucking ass, right? But then like I complain about it and I talk about how this event is ass, and then I'm a fucking asshole. I'm a fucking villain. I'm on an ungrateful piece of shit because I have an experience at an event that's poor, right? Like I'm not gonna suck off the TOs just because they put on an event. Like I appreciate it. Like obviously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you every tournament organizer that's run an event. But if you give a bad experience to your attendee or attendees, which I'm sure I wasn't the only one who had a fucking problem with this tournament, but if you give me a shit experience and I call you out, like I'm not like I mean, should I just not call you out if you give me a bad experience? Like, should I not say anything? Should I just be in the quiet and be like, "Oh, thank you so much for hosting this fucking tournament"? No, I'm not gonna do shit. No, I'm gonna tell you straight up. If your tournament's fucking ass, I'm gonna tell you. If you're starting your tournament 3 hours late, I'm gonna fucking tell you your tournament's ass. Like it's no, I'm not gonna sit there silently. Like it's fucking dumb. But again, perhaps like I could provide more progressive feedback. But my progressive feedback's gonna be like no one's gonna want to listen to it. It's gonna be like just stick to your fucking schedule. That's my progressive feedback. Stick to your fucking schedule. If your tournament's running behind, don't put every single damn match on stream. How about you put it on the recording setup you had 4 feet away that someone brought in? How about that? Like it's very very fucking easy to do these things. In my opinion, though, like I haven't hosted just so you guys know, I used to host back in the day. I hosted brawl events. I don't know how we did those either. We had like 8 setups and we'd get like 120 people and still run it quicker than that event. But it has been a minute. Like maybe things have changed. Honestly, I'm not trying to downplay anybody's job in that way. Like maybe events have changed a bit, and maybe they have gotten a little more difficult to run with the number of people that show up. So I'm not going to downplay anybody's shit. Like I know events are stressful to run. But I think there's a lot of things that can just be improved by simple little things like sticking to schedule. If you're running behind, if you're 2 hours behind your event, sucks that every match can't be on stream, but don't put every match on stream. Like, I don't know. They don't think about that. Or they do. They think about it, but it's just like, well, let's just get it recorded. Because I understand that argument, too. I understand the argument for wanting everything recorded. I'm a player. I want my exposure, too, obviously. So I get that argument, too. But it's just like, dude, if you're 3 hours behind, like, there's no need. You can't put losers' eighths on the stream. Like, no. Stop. Just stop. That's dumb, right? You can't do that. Anyway, I just think there are things that can be fixed. When it comes to nationals and stuff, like I actually, if you follow my Twitter, I never complain about nationals, because like those nationals are fucking hard to run, dude. If you're running like a sick tournament, that's hard to fucking run. Most of my like when I have complaints, it come from a lot smaller tournaments. Just because it's like stupid mistakes that are very, very easy. And even then, I don't even fucking complain that much. That's what pisses me off. If I don't actually complain. Like, what the fuck do I say? I say like your tournament started 3 hours late. These tournaments suck. Is that big of a deal? Like, honestly, I was trying to think about what event I complained about recently. I don't think there was one. There might have been one. But I don't know. For the most part, it's just fucking stupid. It's just like stupid shit that can be fixed. But I don't know. It's frustrating too, because like the main reason, like, okay, so the reason I'll complain about shit, right? Like again, it's not coming, and I understand why people feel attacked, and like I can understand why they feel that way, but I think it's fucking dumb. Because like someone might say, "Well, Mike, you're a fucking asshole for telling that tournament that it was the worst event you've ever attended," um, despite you being there for 14 to 16 hours or however the fuck long it was. You're an asshole for that, Mike. Blah blah blah. I understand. I can understand how somebody can think of it that way. But then there's the added effect of like, are you not thinking about why I'm doing this? Why do you guys think? Like, think about it for a second. Take a second. Why do you think I complained or I mentioned anything? Why did I say anything? Do you think it's A, because I'm a fucking asshole? Like, I just want to fucking complain and I want to kill the community and I want the bridges to be burned and I hate everybody? Do you think it's that? Do you think it's that? Or do you think maybe it's because, like, I want it to improve? A or B? Because I want it to fucking improve, man. Like, obviously, right? This is my fucking community. I've been in the community for like 11 years. Do you think I want it to die? Do you think I just want to fucking shit on every TO and I want your event that's on Hitbox to die and I just don't want it to be held and blah 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 blah? Like, shut up. No, I don't care for that. That does nothing for me. My main point is I want the events to improve. Like, it's just so dumb. It's just like, yeah, that's why. Like, I get it. Yeah, thank you for hosting and thank you so much. Honestly, like from the bottom of my heart, thank you to every fucking TO. Honestly, cheers. Have some of my coffee. Thank you guys for hosting. Thank you so fucking much for TOing. Thank you for all the work you do. Thank you. I want the best for my community. I want the best for the Smash community. I want the best for Melee. I want the best for Smash 4. The more success even other tournaments get, like Smash 4 or other Smash games get, the more success Melee sees, which in turn is all of our success, right? I'm one of those people. But if your tournament's ass, like yeah, you have a 16-hour tournament or 14-hour tournament. Sorry, I've exaggerated the numbers now. I'm pretty sure it was 16 though. I'm pretty positive it was fucking 16 hours. But let's say you have your all-day tournament, you have your 14-hour tournament with 100 entrants and 20 to 30 setups. Um, yeah, like I'm gonna tell you your tournament's ass because that's bad. That's bad for the community. Do you know what happens when events are hosted like that? Do you think I ever want to go back to? It was in upstate New York. Do you think I ever want to go back to upstate? Honestly, no, I don't. I actually don't. I don't want to go back to upstate New York because of that. I don't want to go to those events. Um, that's the main thing. Like you have those events. Like the reason it's bad is because like yeah, you're deterring people from going. I don't want to go back to that. You know what tournament I want to go to? I want to go to like for example, Battle of BC2 was announced. Right, it's gonna happen this summer. They took me out to the last event and I had so much fun. Battle of BC2, right? It got announced, or the TL messaged me in like he messaged me 3 or 4 months ago, and he said, "Hey, Battle of BC2 is happening," and I said, and before he even said anything else, he types that, like he was probably gonna ask me if I wanted to go or like if I'm planning on attending, and before he even types more, I say, "Okay, consider me confirmed," because I had such a good time at the event, right? Like it wasn't necessarily the fastest event, but I had so much fucking fun at the tournament. Like it was run pretty decently. Like it was a blast. I had a blast at the tournament, so I'm gonna go back. Another example to just give you examples of like how these relationships work. It's like okay, cool. So I went to Clutch City Clash last year, a regional in Texas, um, and at the tournament I had a fucking blast. Again, these aren't perfectly run tournaments, right? I'm not saying that they were perfectly run. It's I had fun at the event. The event put on a good show. They put a lot of effort in. They did what they could to appease everybody, and it was a fun event. And guess what? They hit me up for part two, and I'm going back. Right? This is the relationship. This is a working relationship that happens, and yeah, I'm gonna go back to that. If if the upstate New York TOs hit me up, I am not going. I'm declining immediately. Right? I had such a bad time that I will not go back. And that's why it's important. Like it's important that your events are run because other people still feel the same way. The big problem I've kind of noticed too is that a lot of people have problems with things that go down. And I'll talk about it in privately with other players. I'm not gonna shout anyone out or call them out, but I'll have conversations about like the same events or the same types of problems, and all sorts of people agree with me, but everybody's too afraid or nobody wants to like just talk about it. Nobody wants to say like, oh yeah, I didn't enjoy that either. Like yeah, that was kind of fucked up. No one wants to say that, and that's kind of frustrating at times. But like I'll say it. I don't give a fuck. Like I don't. If people hate me, it fucking sucks. Like maybe we don't agree on point of views or we can't see the same point of view. I think a lot of like not liking each other, or people not liking each other, certain personalities. I think it comes from like miscommunication or not fully understanding someone's point of view. But like a lot of people feel the same way. Like I talked to people at that tournament who felt the same way, but no one says anything, which is fine too. Nobody has to say anything. I'll say it. I'll say it. That's fine. Um, but I don't know. I'm just saying like there's ways like there's reasons that I say things, and like at the end of the day, again, like my main point from the whole thing, with a little rant, was I want the best for the community. Like I guess just the main reason I made this video was I just want people to understand like if I'm complaining or if I'm like talking about something or bringing something up, it's not coming from a mindset or a place of like pissing someone off, or it's not trying to like grime somebody or take something away from anybody. That's never my intention. My intention is always just to try to grow. My intention is to try to have the best community possible, and have our events running well. Because I think if we have good events, I think people will come back. That's just kind of like my main point. Like I don't want people to think like I'm complaining about something just to fucking complain and be a dick. Like that's never my goal. That's never my point. My point is always to I just want to have this, either I want to have discussion or I just want us to improve and grow. Like that's always my main point. That's what I care about the most. Like I said, I've been here for 11 years. Like it's my community. I only benefit from its growing. So I have no reason to break anything down. I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you guys have questions or want to talk anything in comments, like feel free. Most videos actually, I'm pretty like I lurk a lot in my comments. I'll read them all for the most part. And this one in particular, though, I'll try responding more, see what's up. If you guys want to engage in discussion, feel free in the comments. You could also check on my Twitter, at Mikehaze Gaming. You can tweet at me, and I'll probably respond. But yeah, I appreciate it. This is actually really fun. It's nice to do like a more chill, honest type of video, and I think I'll continue to do these. But I appreciate your time, guys. I'm going to go edit this shit, try to get it up by the end of the day. Much love. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.